Hi, my name's Laura Stuart Wonderlie, and I am thrilled to be here today as a part of Education Closet's Winter Arts Integration and STEAM Conference. Welcome. I've been in education for the last 27 years. Currently, I'm teaching third grade at Seven Hills Charter Public School in Worcester, Massachusetts. For a very long time, arts integration, STEAM, innovation, creativity, creating a classroom where scholars can shine has been a huge passion for me. I've been a principal, a classroom teacher, an educational coach, and now back home in the classroom for the last 3 years. Wow, an amazing journey. And I've been so lucky to work with so many amazing educators just like you. One thing I know you all have in common is that you want to provide the most amazing and engaging experiences for your kids every day. You want them to learn, you want them to develop 21st century skills that will serve them well both in school and college and in life. So I'm here today to just have a conversation with you about something that we may have in common. I know that all the teachers that I have worked with consistently question whether these kinds of learning experiences will cause them to lose control in their classroom. I mean, let's be honest. Haven't we all planned something, some amazing learning experience, only to find ourselves running around, putting out fires, making decisions for kids, with kids, trying to help them resolve conflict, trying to keep the classroom at a noise level where anyone could possibly do the kind of thinking work we're asking them to do? I mean, if this is you, just give me a little cosign there, because it definitely was me, and it has been almost all of the teachers that I have worked with. So there it is. This session is all about how to create a culture that's going to support this kind of work, that's going to maintain a sense of control and allow for creativity and innovation in ways where you can just relax and enjoy the journey with your scholars.
The big three community moves: visioning, ritual routine structures, communication accountable talk.
Visioning. What will we become? The first of the big three. Consider this idea. How can you establish in your class community with your scholars the kind of culture that you want to create? And honestly, you can't create it on your own. It has to happen across the days based on a shared vision of how we want to do our work and what we want to accomplish. Engaging your scholars in that conversation is the first step toward being able to enjoy all of the rigorous learning experiences that arts integration, STEAM, and project-based learning will offer.
Strategy 1: establish norms. I give credit to Tribes and Gene Gibbs, a hero of mine. 4 basic agreements that cover just about every situation you could consider. Strategy 2: make your classroom culture one that has routines that celebrate what you value. In my classroom, our pebble routine: scholars choose a pebble from the basket, and one tribe keeps that pebble safe all day. It travels with them wherever they go. At the end of the day, we come together and we say, like the pebble, each day is unique. There will never be another like it. What memories did we make today? And each scholar offers an appreciation or a shout out to something that happened during our day. This routine establishes that each day matters, each moment is important. Strategy 3: our charter, the words we choose to live by. This is not just created by the teacher. This is created in conjunction with your scholars. And it names the things that everyone has brainstormed that we want to become and how we will do it. These words are said as a part of Morning Circle each day. These are not just words that live on the page. but words that we work and aspire to do and be each and every day that we are together.
Change it, make it better. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
So what did you guys do when you failed?
So we did this. And then we moved to the silent celebration.
So show me what that celebration looks like. Okay, and what does that mean?
It means like when you do a mistake, celebrate it.
I love
Because you
that.
just learn more from it.
So you didn't give up, you didn't get upset, you're just like, just celebrated, tried something else, and it looks like you're being successful. Is it working?
Yeah. So we don't
Awesome. That's what STEAM thinkers do, right? They definitely learn from their mistakes. High five. I love that. Awesome.
Sharing the work, group members together, successful. To be known, to be of value, to be appreciated.
How hard you work and how much you work to make our community strong. Go ahead, keep going.
To celebrate success, failure, and time with the community.
Big idea number 2, rituals, routines, and structures. Now there's something that rituals, routines, and structures all have in common. If you're going to expect it, you're going to need to teach it. And when I say teach it, what I really mean is go through this 3-step process. Name it. Be very clear about what the expectation is for that routine, about what the purpose behind that ritual or routine is, and then name it very clearly in an anchor. For example, attention-getting signals. In my classroom, we have just a couple, and we use them the same way all the time. We want instant attention, and they say, they pause, eyes on the speaker, listen attentively, off you go, and they get back to work. If they're working in a small group conversation, we use the chime. If you still have chime, you still have time. It lets them finish their thought and then roll back in to the audience position or to a whole group conversation. Both of those procedures or routines were things that had to be taught and practiced. And then we had to go from there to claiming them, which means I had to provide scholars feedback to reinforce, to remind, and to celebrate success when they were achieving that. The best kinds of ritual and routines are the ones that become a habit. We call them low-hanging fruit. They're at the bottom. We need them desperately so that we can get to the real work of STEAM thinkers, engineers, and arts integration. That's why we have them in service of our ability to collaborate, innovate, and create. End of story. So let's go back over that again. Whatever you're going to decide that your ritual, routines, and structures are going to be, step 1 is to name it. Be crystal clear, have an anchor with visuals to be referred to, and then throughout the course of the day and the year, reinforce it, remind it, expect it, and celebrate when it happens.
Help each other, stack the chairs, and get to meeting. Off you go.
Morning message, community jobs, setting the tone for the day and week.
We're technicians, how we take turns. Me today, you tomorrow, Wednesday is me, the next day is you. And then on Friday, we'll do it again because I have to go on bus. It's just a chart to help us with our jobs and who's going first for engineering.
Scholars sit eye to eye, knee to knee, leaning in 6-inch voices, the perfect structure for a small group conversation.
Let me know people's story.
Add on to that, Alondra.
So why I want to add on is because why you want to hear from people share is because you want to know about them and know about their life.
To do share is because you don't just make fun of a person, but you don't know their story. So that's why we do share.
Welcome, Janaya, to the Share Chair. So I'm going to share about, go over there, she puts it on. Are there any CQs? Alondra. So where did you guys have the Sweet 15 at?
Big idea number 3, communication, namely accountable talk. This may be the last, but it certainly isn't the least important. And reaching back and pulling forward to what we've already learned about ritual and routine, naming, claiming, and sustaining, it's no different for the art of collaboration and conversation. In my early years as a teacher, I would put my students in groups and I would ask them to brainstorm, plan, decide, and then create. And while the conversations sometimes looked like scholar to scholar to scholar to scholar and considering ideas, they often didn't. The loudest voices would be the ones heard, and the softest voices would nod and go along. That was so frustrating to me. I wanted them to be richer conversations. And so it took time for me to realize that conversation is a giant tapestry of skills. So many, right? You have to listen, you have to agree, you have to disagree, you have to consider ideas, you have to synthesize ideas together. There's so much there. And so I like to break it down into small pieces for my scholars. And since I've been doing that, the level of conversation has lifted beyond anything I could have ever wished for. So what is this system? 1, we're going to teach scholars how to share, learning how to share, which includes clarifying each other's ideas, sharing my ideas clearly, giving them sentence frames to give them language to wrap their ideas around, and teaching them silent signals. I agree with that idea. I disagree with that idea. Me too. I'm thinking exactly what you're thinking. I'm changing my thinking. I want to build on your idea. Those silent signals serve a very important purpose. They force scholars to stay focused on the conversation and not on what they want to say next. So it engages them even when it's not their turn to talk. Total game changer for me in my classroom. We use them all the time, whether we're in partner conversation, whole class conversation, whether we're in a circle or an audience. It is always the way that I know that my scholars are thinking as I'm teaching, as they're teaching each other. Second phase is learning to build. New set of sentence frames and really adding on. I agree with that idea and I'd like to add. I disagree with that idea and I'd like to add. We practice it and we shine a light on it and the skill gets developed over time. Finally, learning to synthesize. And that's where all of those puzzle pieces that happen in the conversation allow a new and even more important and creative and innovative idea to emerge. Synthesizing. We think about learning to share, learning to build, learning to synthesize, and all the while being respectful and making sure each person feels of value, going back to our original vision for our classroom.
Yeah, and then just keep adding on ideas. Might be taking off the ideas and just finding a way to agree with each other and make a plan as a group. So I think how to change this at the end when they lose. At the end, we have like separate strategies, and then what we do is we take a few parts from each other's ideas and then combine them all together.
Some people come up with an idea and another person disagrees, so then we just so we put it together and then one person takes their idea off the table.
We have somebody makes an idea and then another idea and then we connect it.
A strong culture opens up a world of possibilities. Just imagine STEAM, project-based learning, technology, engineering, art, and math. You can make it happen. The culture will support it. Good luck. And thank you so much for your time.